All right, good afternoon, YouTube. Cleaning you guys up a little bit of fingers. So Meeker Extreme here, kind of talked about in the last video. I got a Beta 125, which I was a little bit jealous of because I was kind of wanting to do reviews on him, but he's going to let me, I was going to turn it off so it doesn't die, because we've done this before. Anyways, so the Beta 125 is kind of one of those bikes that Beta doesn't talk about, nobody else talks about. There's like a few videos of people bitching about them, and yeah, so I just wanted to do a review of it, and I think it looks cool. It's marketed to newer riders, and in the market of $5,000 dual sports, so you got like the KLX 250 from Kawasaki, now the Kawasaki KLX 230, which is $4,500 new. Which you can probably pick up for $4,300 easy. So I'd love to see where these stack up, and yeah, so we'll check it out. Kind of a good looking bike. Also check out Meeker Extreme because it's his bike, and he's got some better B-roll footage of its sexiness, because I have a GoPro Hero 3 and I'm poor and in the military, and I only bought a $10,000 dirt bike so my child couldn't eat. There's a CBS miss. Oh fuck. It's okay, I'm just laying down. You alright? Oh yeah, I'm fine. Oh shit. Oh. Oh. It's like... Alright, so...
I bought that bike when I don't need one.
Is it running? Oh my god, it's running.
I guess I'll be behind you for a bit so I can see you.
Get some footage of me going over logs with this thing?
Well, might not try the big one.
Alright, so oh yeah, all the power. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Oh, there's no bottom end at all. Oh, we're just gonna stay in that gear. Go, 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 go! Oh god. Oh, okay, so it basically stalled out in second gear there. Now let's keep in mind some objectivity here, because this is at, we're at like 8,000 feet above sea level, maybe a little bit higher actually. So this bike is extra gutless up here. But you know what? It's actually not quite as bad as I thought it would be. I'm gonna, holy shitballs. All right, we're gonna attempt to run at this. Oh my god, there's no power.
None at all.
I dumped it and I think I made it worse. The thing, like, just once you get it going though, it's not bad. The front brake feels awful. The front brake is absolutely awful. So there's an impression there. I do like how light and nimble it feels. It feels very well planted. The suspension feels pretty good. But boy, is it, it's lethargic. Back to first. You gotta get those revs up. Not used to that. Yeah, you're almost always pinned on this thing. Oh, wide open. Come on, girl. It's kind of a goat, because once you get it up in that rev range, like you get all the torque and no horsepower, like it doesn't feel horrible, but boy, you gotta kind of commit with this thing. Oh yeah, I'd have bottomed out on my XT if that. It's so light though. But you really have to use the gears to get this thing up to speed. There is no lugging it. lost where we're going here. It's a good bike. The suspension's probably the crowning feature of it so far to me. Feels good. It's a little on the stiffer side, but it feels good. There is no hopping over stuff though. I think this thing could use a rejet. That might help too. See, then you run out of gear. There's no power. Then you've got to find the top in a second. Kind of keep it going. Alright, so I got a little lost. Now Mark's leading since I don't know where the hell I was going. Mark's turned it up on my 390 while I'm on the 125 still, but I maintained, so we talked a little bit. This bike, the suspension is drastically better than my XT250. Wide open, baby. Come on. It is confidence inspiring. It's easy to ride, and the suspension, like I said, yeah, it's a lot better than my XT. I would say the suspension feels pretty similar to the KLX 250. Except this bike is way, way lighter. So I think this bike is, if memory serves, it's about 225 pounds wet. So this bike is really super light, but man, it must only make freaking like 9 horsepower up here or something. Woo! All the power. It does get going though, once you get it revved. It's fun. Now is this bike worth, you know, if you get it out the door for $4,500 maybe, or $5 grand is its MSRP, I would say that this bike is a super hard sell at $5 grand though, even with having a good suspension. Boy. Now there are aftermarket options for this bike. Big bore kit, 182 I think, cc, 181 maybe, that I've heard people make a lot better. The market's got lower gearing coming, so I have a feeling that's going to be a big game changer. But we'll see. I'm pretty curious about it though. Like I like it. Like I want to really like it. It's like almost there. It's almost really good. I guess we're gonna find out. Alright, that wasn't too bad. It comes with good tires, and that's probably a good thing, but yeah, like I was saying, you know, it's a hard sell at $5 grand for this bike. It really needs a little bit more oomph. But you know, I like it though. It's fun. Would I choose it over another dual sport? I'd probably say no, especially with the likes of a KLX 230 that has now come out. Boy, it's a lot of shifting on this thing. The KLX 230 is another one that I have a feeling would be a sweet spot for a dual sport. I might pick up one of those just to kind of compare, because that's about the same price that you'll like to get one of these for. Oh, that was more of a drop than I thought. But yeah, the forks and the suspension feels pretty well dampened. Now I weigh 50 or 60 pounds depending on how fat I feel for the day, how much Grubhub I've ordered, and I would say that the suspension feels great. Actually, better than a DRZ, that's for sure. I think, better than WR250R's stock suspension. It absorbs the stuff real well. It's not harsh. It's a little stiff. Maybe not as plush as a new rider would want. It's not nearly as plush as like what the XT is. I think my biggest complaint about this bike overall so far is the front brake is awful. It is awful, and Mark already bled it because it was that bad, and he said it helped quite a bit. And yeah, the front brake, it's spongy, it's squishy, it's very vague. You got to grab that thing hard to really feel it. And yeah, nothing like what you'd expect from Beta. Like my RRS up there, the brakes are fantastic, lots of good feel. In fact, so much so I've already knocked myself off of it once today. Yeah, but its power at the low end is nothing like an XT250. The top end actually might be somewhat similar to the XT250. Kinda. There's definitely more power with the XT250. And the fuel injection is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. But it feels good. This bike is fun. Would it be good for a new rider? I don't know. That's a tough question. So this is second gear, like wide open. There we go. So finding the top end, you gotta really keep it up. But it's a smooth engine. It doesn't feel like it's rattling. That's one thing I'll give it. The engine's a lot smoother than the XT's. The XT's up at its top end will just about knock your freaking nuts off. The XT's a low-end torque, and this has got all of what power it has at the top. And I'm not upset about it. Yeah, definitely got to keep the revs up. So it's a huge difference in my 390. 390, you can let that thing, you can count the RPMs. I don't know if I'm gung-ho enough to attempt that. I don't think this thing's got it in it to go over that. Not easily. Yep, not hopping over that. I could have hit it with more speed, but yeah, this bike you got to plan a little bit more. I think as a beginner bike, there might be some detriments to not having enough power. It's definitely not something that'll get away from you, that's for sure. Good control. On easier trails and whatnot, this bike could be a lot of fun. Like this stuff is flowy, quick. You can stay in second gear at the top end and just kind of work the throttle and feel that smooth little sewing machine underneath you. Oh, that front brake, like, it's terrible. I don't even think you could lock it up if you wanted to. But I think the detriment for new riders is that this thing is not gonna tractor up a hill. Like, going up a steep hill slow and methodical like I would do on my XT250 when I was a noob, or my DRZ, no freaking way. This is, you're gonna hit it wide open in first and pray to whatever Jesus or Buddha you believe in that it's gonna make it to the top. Now with lower gearing, like we said, it may be a kind of a different story. But I can't see this kind of really fitting into being a great beginner bike. Oop, into the rut. My fault. Trying to steer with the throttle, and that's not really a thing with this bike. Can't believe there's people going down this. But the suspension may suck a little bit more like on an XT250, but it's very friendly to a new rider, and that's why I feel like this KLX 230 that came out might be a pretty sweet deal. Yeah, so But this is fun. Like, I want to say that like it's worth it for some reasons. Like, okay, if you bought it used for super cheap, like this would be a really awesome, fun kind of, you know, medium, like not even a moderate, because it really just doesn't have the power to be a moderate bike. But the suspension kind of gives you the feeling like you can ride it pretty hard, which you can. So, I don't know. I'm mixed on it. I like Beta for attempting it, but I just think it needs to be a little bit bigger. But for dual sporting and going down forest roads like this, and you know, even that single track Mark had it on, his bike's done it. A little bit lower gearing, and I think it would probably be really good. The lightness is really attractive. He's come with the stock Beta Michelin Enduro mediums. Yeah, like it's really easy to lock that rear up. The front, I don't think you can lock it up if you squeeze it all the way to the handlebars. So it just doesn't feel right. And Mark bled it for air just to make sure. And it's weird because like the rear is good. Like the rear's got enough feeling for me to work with it. The front, it's kind of scary. When I want it to brake, it just doesn't. And I know these tires will grip because the same tires that are on the Beta, my Beta. Yeah, like those jumps are fun though, man. God, it's so easy to get it up in the air and fun. Like this kind of stuff is like what this bike was built for. Like fast roads, 4x4 trails, like, and with lower gearing, maybe in the twisty stuff too. It's just, oh God, this thing is for ease of use. For you know, as far as being light and easy to pick up for a new rider, that could be a plus. Because like the KLX 230 I'm looking at that just came out, boy, it weighs like some 50 pounds more than this bike. That's a lot. But here's the 125. Hope you guys enjoyed. Meeker Extreme, go check out his videos. He's got 4K, 60 awesome things, and he talks a lot more than